Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel. I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's in North Alabama. You can also find us on Abundance Television. We are syndicated there, and that's through Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. I have a friend with me right now. His name is Brian Brown, and he is with the Alabama Cooperative Extension Service. And I'm going to tell you what, you've got to go to these classes. I have learned so much, and I have, Brian, learned that I'll never know it all. Because it's constantly evolving, things are constantly changing.
It is, and even for me, I told someone that this morning, that you don't really know how much you don't know until you start learning about it, and then you're like, wow, I really know nothing. And
I thought I was kind of a know-it-all because I had somewhat success last year. But that's only because you taught me about pruning.
Well, there's so much information out there, and for us as an extension agent, we're expected to know everything. And sometimes, there's no way anybody can know, and that's why our team, we work together great as a team, and we have about 13 agents scattered throughout the state, and if we don't know the answer to something, we'll call or text each other and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or can you ID this for me? Or, and so we work great as a team, and we just have a good experience with each other, and we enjoy each other's company. So that helps a lot.
Well, and then of the same mind. And I felt like I was part of the team, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
And it was just, and all the other agents also made me feel welcome when we were at different events and what have you. So it's been a great thing. We actually got to go on little tours, and we went on a real good one, Pedals from the Past.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want to explain about what we did, it was a great tour.
It was so much fun. And a lot of things that you were bringing out in class, Brian, also kind of came back. I thought I didn't get it, but then I would say, wait a minute, Brian mentioned that. And I have to tell you one of the most fascinating things. Birds are my enemy here. Okay, birds will get my grapes, they'll get my raspberries, they'll get everything I've got out there, blackberries, whatever. And I saw these little streamers all over the place out there. And I see how that works because this brought back what my granddad used to do. He would get these little aluminum pie pans and let them just hang in the wind, and it would scare the birds away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they had, what was it, like a little, I guess it was a little streamer from where you make bows with them, and maybe about an inch wide. They had them tied along the trellis, and
it was pretty, flowing in the wind. It was like an art form. They actually made art out of it, and they're all the same length. So somebody was very precise and never put that together. And it looked good.
Yeah, so it does. The birds are distracted and they're scared off by it, so it keeps them from. They were on blackberry trellis, so it keeps them from eating the blackberries. So. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do like that to, you don't have to spray every time. We had that discussion this morning with one of our entomologists. He was talking about, this new disease that's out called crepe myrtle bark scale. Have you heard of this?
So, I think you've mentioned that to us in class.
Yeah. So crepe myrtle bark scale, it's a relatively new disease, and it's a scale insect. So it moved from Texas. I don't know where it came from before Texas, but it moved from Texas east.
Thanks, Texas.
And
you brought the armadillos too.
Yeah. So they're spread all over, especially in North Alabama. It's just especially Huntsville. Oh, it's covered up in Huntsville. So very easy to identify. If your crepe myrtle turns black around the trunk, you've got it. And what that is the scale insect excretes sooty mold. Or it excretes honeydew, which then molds and then turns the tree black. So I was talking with our entomologist. We're working on a video project for homeowners, and he was telling me that what they have been doing, and this is kind of an unusual thing. So you remember talking about IPM, Integrated Pest Management. You don't have to spray everything. That's when people call me. They're like, "What can I spray for this or that?" Sometimes the best solution is a natural solution. And so the solution that he had, there was two things. If you do them in combo, it really, really helps to keep away any kind of honeydew producing like aphids or the scale insects. they would take a yard sign, vote for so and so.
Yeah.
They would take one of those signs and paint it this bright color yellow and hang it in the tree.
Uh-huh.
And that keeps away scale insects, and or actually it attracts ladybugs.
Mm.
So that bright yellow attracts ladybugs, and then those ladybugs will find something to eat. So they eat soft-bodied insects. They love them. So if you can attract ladybugs to your plants, you can keep aphids away or scale insects away, and that's how they're controlling
I got plenty of
Crepe
those
Myrtle
signs.
water scale.
People were putting all kinds of, I'm running for whatever office all over my front yard.
Yeah.
So I still
Just paint them yellow.
I'll do that.
Want to attract some ladybugs, but they love to eat soft-bodied insects. So that's a good way to do a natural remedy. They also use what's called limonene, which is a extract of citrus, and you spray that on your trees, and it does a fantastic job of getting rid of those insects. So, and they actually diluted it down to like 1%, and it still was very, very effective. And the reason they do that is because the other solution they have is a neonicotinoid, which has been shown to cause pollinator damage.
Oh, no, can't have that. Got my bees out there.
Yeah, so if you have bees or butterflies or any of the other pollinators out there, if you put that systemic insecticide in your plant, it takes it up. If they try to get the pollen or whatever out of that plant, it can kill them. So that's why they want to treat limonene. So, so there's a lot of things like that you really need to pay attention to. Make sure you don't kill the pollinators because we need them.
You gotta have them.
And you got to have honey, so you need bees.
I do. Every morning we have honey with vinegar.
Yeah.
And it's real good. But just about the planting season. And I'll tell you something else because, you remember last year, you taught us how to prune.
Yep.
And so we had the most peaches. I mean, it was incredible. There are none, but it's because of the cold weather.
Yep.
So is there any redemption for that, or do I have to wait till next year?
Next year. It's there was a couple of things with peaches this year. One, we had a hard freeze after they had bloomed, and that period of bloom time where it's they're very, very vulnerable to cold weather. And ideally you won't have any freezes that late. It may get cool or cold even, but it don't freeze, and that's okay. But if it freezes, it just kills them all. The other thing is we actually didn't have enough chilling hours. So certain plants, especially peaches, they have to have a number of hours below, I think it's 45 degrees. And we just didn't have that this year. Even though we had some really cold snaps, we didn't have the hours needed. And so it would get warm for several days, and then we'd have a really cold snap. And so that really is going to reduce the peach population this year. So, you go down to Clanton and you buy peaches.
Oh, but they're going to be how much?
Yeah, exactly. So they will have peaches, but they're going to be more expensive probably.
Probably double.
So, yeah.
I'd just be expecting it. I think so. But you know what? I had so many last year. There was a lot of dried ones that I have still, and lots of peach jam still.
Good.
So
awesome.
that kind of works out. So when you do have the supply coming in, go ahead and take advantage of it. Now, are fruit trees kind of on 1 year and off another year anyway?
No, they typically will produce every year. The only things that are really that I can think of that are like that are pecans. Sometimes pecans will, take a break, or depending on the variety that they are, sometimes they just don't produce that year, and that's okay. But a lot of people get worried, so don't worry. If your pecan doesn't produce, just keep on doing what you're doing. I actually had a call this morning about pecan trees. I probably get more pecan calls than anything. But really, as a homeowner, there's not a lot you can do for pecans. She had a concern, and this is very common, so someone out there may have this problem. You have little balls all over the stems of that tree. And what that is, it's phylloxera.
Which is?
Phyllloxera. I think that's the way you spell that. So, yeah. I can't spell that well, but phylloxera, and it's a
Well,
tiny
I can't
little,
pronounce it or spell it.
yeah, it's a tiny little insect, and what it does, it lays its egg inside the stem, and as those eggs grow, it makes a little gall. So they're only maybe about big around as a big marble or something like that. And if you cut one of them open, you'll see all kind of little critters crawling around inside of that. So it's kind of gross, but that's what it is. It's phylloxera. Nothing you can do about it. It really doesn't affect your crop of pecans.
Okay.
Um,
Just in that one section.
yeah, well, they'll be all over the tree, so it covers the entire tree. And I thought when I first had it in my pecan tree, I thought it was pecans because I didn't get up close and check it out, and I just saw it from a distance. But then I got up on it and I was like, oh, that's not pecans. But I knew instantly it was a gall. And usually, if you have a gall form on a plant, it's probably an insect. And but yeah, there's it doesn't really do any harm to the tree, so don't worry about it. But she wanted to treat it with something. I was like, well, there's really nothing you can do as a homeowner. It's just impossible.
Just let it run its course.
Just let it run its course, and it's okay. It'll be fine.
I found that to be too. A lot of things I would freak out about. On some things, in some cases, let nature handle it.
Yeah. I mean, pecans have been around for hundreds of years, and
we love pecan pies.
I love it. And if you got one in your yard and it produces, that's great. Sometimes it's just better to just go buy some.
I've decided that too. Let's
Yeah.
go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a minute, so you just hang it. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. We are back. My name is...
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community
Donna Fiesel,
College.
I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. Thank you again so much for watching. You are the reason we do this and our fantastic sponsors. We have some good ones there as well. So we're learning. I've learned I know nothing. I thought I thought I was somewhat, had some knowledge of gardening, but it's all been good. Mm-hmm. It's all been fasting. So I'm going to encourage you. Everybody needs to take this class. It's the Master Gardeners class.
Yep.
And by the way, the Master Gardeners I've met are awesome.
Yeah.
It's just they're so glad to get you in. And
Yeah. That's a really great group that you're working with. They're really awesome,
Love
and
them.
they're so, they've been willing to help out so much with all of us, and there's some very knowledgeable people there too.
yeah.
They really know their stuff. They've been at it for a long time, and they help us out as extension. That's what Master Gardeners are for. But yeah, I love them. The DeKalb County group is great. So.
They are, and they're great at beautifying the area. So we were looking for, you have to do some volunteer hours. And so I have friends who are with the Women's Center, Save a Life, in Fort Payne, across from the courthouse. And I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and call them and see if I can volunteer. Well, the Master Gardeners they have this beautiful area in the back. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, it's paradise. If you're on your lunch hour and you're working in Fort Payne, you want to go somewhere and just relax and just take it all in, go to that place. There's a gazebo there. They have all kinds of beautiful plants and flowers. It's beautiful.
Wow.
You got to go check it out.
I haven't seen
But
it.
so they've been taking care of that. So, I mean, they want to beautify DeKalb County, and they are doing it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, they're a really great group, and this year's class, or this fall, the class will be in Etowah County. So it'll be in Gadsden, Alabama. And we welcome anybody who wants to come to Gadsden and take the class. And it'll be fun. I think we're expecting a pretty big group. We had a pretty small group in DeKalb County, but that's okay. But I think we're going to have a pretty big group in Etowah County.
Well,
so,
I'm a huge cheerleader. You got to go. You will learn so much about what to do, and it's basically simple stuff. It's not difficult. It's not.
Yeah, I mean you're tested on it, but you got 3 chances. So if you don't do well on the first one, you got 2 more chances to do it. So
And
it's
I'm glad
okay.
there's not a time limit, because on the very first test, I think it was the first and the second test, it took me over 3 hours to complete it, but I kept getting interrupted with phone calls.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, Brian's going to think I'm a knucklehead.
No, it actually
Life kept happening.
it actually grades itself. So so I'm kind of hands off on that, thankfully. So but yeah, we do, and we've got different projects, and everybody's doing something different throughout the state, and it's just it's a great time, not just for learning about plants and volunteering. You actually make some good friends there. So I know you've made
I've
some
got
friends.
lifelong friends.
Yeah. So that's a big part of it too, is the social aspect of it. So we try to push that also. But yeah, registration will start actually in a few days. So about a week from now, June 1st is when registration starts. So if anybody
Better jump on it.
Yeah, if anybody wants to join, just feel free to reach out to me, and I'll give you some info about that.
And to me, the cost is a small cost with all the knowledge you're getting, and it's kind of a cram session almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, horticulturist or anything like that, but I feel like I've got some of the knowledge that a horticulturist would have.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like it's a lifelong learning thing. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm still learning. I'm learning something new every day, and it's always something new to learn. And I don't know. It's just when you get around people who are that knowledgeable, you just kind of soak up what they're offering. And even the Master Gardener meetings, they usually have people who come in and talk.
Oh my goodness!
So,
I learned so much about lavender this past month.
Yeah.
And I haven't killed it yet.
Well, good.
And so I found out what you don't need to do, and this lady was so knowledgeable. Was it Lookout Mountain Lavender?
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
And she's up in Rising Fawn. You got to go check that out. And she takes tour groups, so you can go and you don't have to do an appointment. You just show up. And basically that's what there is. But her knowledge, and I remember she asked me, I said, I kill lavender. I don't know what I'm doing. And she said, do you have sandy soil or do you have clay soil? See, she knows her stuff. You got to go check her out. I don't want to buy from somebody who maybe flipped burgers today before. Yeah. So she's got the knowledge. And I said, well, it's sandy. And I said, we get a lot of rain and it slopes and it's like quicksand. We have to wear rubber boots when it just barely sprinkles outside. And she said, you probably not want to do something like a raised garden. And so I mentioned the concrete blocks. Been doing that. You got to go check it out before you go.
Yeah.
And so that is working. It was just too much water coming in.
Yeah. That's and really, I think I've said before that water is the number one issue with plants, whether it's too much or too little. most of the time it's too much water.
It
And a
is.
lot of people don't understand that. You know, just like if you're going to have plants in a pot, it's got to have a hole in it. You have to have a hole in it if you're going to plant something in a pot.
I think it should be against the law for somebody to sell a pot that doesn't have a hole in it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them out there. So if you don't have one, either make one or buy one with a hole in it. So that's really the number one thing. And then just, you know, keep it watered. I mean, you could almost constantly water that as long as it will drain. That's the biggest part, is being able to drain well. That's number one.
And something else I learned, which was really good for me to know, because I would water the plants every single day, especially during the really, real hot.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that.
Yeah, most of the time, you know, watering, you know, a couple times a week deeply is much better than watering shallow and more frequent. So you water deeply and less often rather than more often and less deep. So yeah, that's much better.
So many things, and then, you know, just about the whole system of the plant, where you got your root, you know, that's got to be healthy, and then your stem, and then the leaves. Leaves kind of tell you the story about the whole thing, what's wrong with the plant, if there is something wrong with it.
Yeah, and you know, plant diagnostics. That was the one I taught. Plant diagnostics, and you know, you learn to look for different clues, and you know, a lot of times you may see the symptom up in the tree or up in the shrub or in the garden. You'll see the symptom of it, but you don't actually see what's actually happened. Sometimes you got to look outside of that area, especially on trees. You know, somebody send me a picture of a whole tree, and the tree is not the problem. It's usually the roots. So I always tell people, if they send me a picture, like text me a picture or something, give me a picture of the bottom of the tree. If they send me just that, I can probably tell them what's wrong up without seeing the whole tree. If I see, you know, crossing, you know, a girdling root where it's growing over another root, I can tell them what the top of the tree looks like. So, you know, I've had so many calls about that. I don't even have to get a picture. Just like the phylloxera this morning, the lady's like, well, I can send you a picture, or can you come out? And I'm like, don't. It's okay. I know exactly what's wrong. When she said pecan, I knew what was wrong with it. So you just, you know, you get calls about certain times a year, and you're like, well, okay, it's that time again. It's time for phylloxera, so you know you're going to start getting them. So.
I'll tell you something. The awareness now that I have. And so I've passed by houses before, people's homes, and I would notice a tree maybe on one side would look decent, on the other side didn't.
Yeah.
Now I know if there's a car parked right there, that's
right.
hurting the roots of that system.
Yep.
The only thing is I'm going to have a hard time getting out of, like, not parking, getting out of the car, because they move your car because you're killing your tree.
Yeah.
I won't do it, I promise.
Yeah, parking under trees is really, really bad for them. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things you do look for, and just be glad you don't know scientific names of trees.
I don't want to know,
because
I'd never
in my
get it
mind,
anyway.
Sometimes when I get bored driving down the road, which don't happen very often, but sometimes if you're just looking out the window, you just start naming things in your head. It's like, that's Acer palmatum, or that's Quercus virginiana, or that's, you just start naming off trees going down the road at 70 miles an hour on the interstate.
But right, the interstate.
Yeah. So, but you just, they're just in my mind, and they just come out, and it is good for practice, though. It's always fun to practice that way, and keep sharp as much as you can, and sometimes you forget, and but anything you can do to stimulate that mind is always good.
I think so. And you're never too old to go back to class, because that's what I did. And so, there's time,
Yeah.
You're never too old. So whatever your age is, take the Master Gardener classes. We're going to have to call it a day. Thank you so much, Brian, for being on the show. He's going to be back, though, in about 2 more weeks. So we'll have another segment with him. Don't worry, he'll be back. So we'll be seeing you a little bit later. Thank you so much for watching.